All right, do me a favor. Close your eyes. Picture this. It's 1972. It's Saturday afternoon, late September. You're in Three River Stadium, Pittsburgh. What do you see? Take it all in. You hear the sound of the crowd. You hear the ball hitting the mitt. You hear the vendors selling snacks. How about the journalists chatting with each other? Up to hit in the bottom of the fourth inning is a 30-year-old veteran right fielder. As he takes the plate, the pitcher releases the ball. It's a breaking ball, low and away. The batter takes a swing, and open your eyes. What happens next in our story is stuff childhood dreams are made of. Our story is about Roberto Clemente. He was the first Latin American player to reach 3,000 hits. He was also the first Latin American inducted into the Hall of Fame. He was a son, husband, father, teammate, and humanitarian. I have been myself personally involved in baseball since about 5 years old as a player and a spectator. Today, I'll give you a brief history though, and we will look at three main topics: Roberto Clemente's personal life, his professional career, and his humanitarian work. Let's start the story at the beginning though. Who was Roberto Clemente? He was born August 18, 1934 in Carolina, Puerto Rico. He was the youngest of 7 children. His father was a foreman at a sugarcane plantation, and his mother ran a grocery store for the plantation workers. His family was quite poor. Roberto worked delivering milk and other odd-end jobs. His parents wanted him to follow an engineering career, but Roberto loved baseball. He was involved in athletics on just about every team in high school. He was a sprinter and hurdler. At age 14, he was playing with people much older than he was and moved up quite quickly. At age 18, he was offered a professional playing contract. His professional contract opened doors and paved the way for this prosperous career. His career did last 21 total years. In 1954, he signed his first contract with the Dodgers. In 1955, though, he was later drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates and started at right field as a rookie. In 1960 is when he really hit his stride. The Pirates won the World Series that year, and it was his best year ahead, and his best years were ahead. In 1961 began his streak of awards. 61 might have been the year of Roberto Clemente had it not been for Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle, who that same year broke the record for most home runs, which was held by Babe Ruth, and took the nation by storm. Roberto himself, though, batted .314 that year, with a .357 on-base percentage, 83 RBIs, and 23 home runs. On the field, though, he was nearly perfect, with a .971 fielding percentage. He was a 12-time All-Star and had won 12 Gold Gloves. In 1966, he was a National League MVP, and in 1971, he won the World Series MVP, along with the Pittsburgh Pirates winning the World Series that year. Now, let's go back to that September 1972 afternoon. On September 30th, 1972, he hit his 3,000th hit, securing his spot in history. On that pitch, he should have been low and outside. A little more outside, I guess. Reaching 3,000 was special. The true measure of his success was his humanitarian work, though. His position in Major League Baseball allowed him to use his platform to give to those in need. He was a proud man, but he did not mind helping others without expecting anything in return. That same year, 1972, an earthquake struck Nicaragua. He himself helped raise $153,000 plus supplies and clothing and flew them down to Nicaragua. He flew himself the supplies to Nicaragua because there was a lot of corruption and a lot of the supplies were going missing. On December 31st, 1972, Roberto Clemente boarded a DC-7 from San Juan, Puerto Rico, bound to Nicaragua. There was a problem with the plane though, and it was overweight. Shortly after takeoff, the plane engines were reported by witnesses as having caught fire, and the plane plummeted down into the ocean, taking the flight crew and Clemente with it. It was just a few miles off the coast of Puerto Rico. At the age of 38, Roberto Clemente left behind a wife and 3 sons, all under the age of 7. Now let us review what we have here. Roberto Clemente lived his life the best of his ability. His life is what movies are made of. the son of a sugarcane plantation worker, the youngest of 7 children, a man who came from meager beginnings, who would have a Hall of Fame playing career, an inspiration to his fans, his family, friends, and teammates, and to his home of Puerto Rico. Think back for a moment. Go back to that day in 1972. How different would our story been if he had missed that pitch? His story might have ended actually have been the greatest player in history in the game to have hit only 2,999 hits rather than 3,000.